The City of Englewood presents Englewood Moments in History. Alexander Aviation Company. Founded in Englewood in 1925, the Alexander Film Company, which would later become the Alexander Aviation Company, was once known as the largest aircraft manufacturer in the world. It was a revolutionary company, credited with designing the Bullet, the forerunner of modern aircraft. In its early years, Alexander Film Company co-owner J. Don Alexander had a visionary idea to help his salesman, his own fleet of airplanes to fly them to appointments. The country was flush with cheap war surplus biplanes, and the plan was to purchase a fleet of planes and lease them to the sales crew. While the sales manager was away learning to fly, Alexander and his brother Don purchased 4 unassembled biplanes and had them shipped to Englewood. When the tiny planes arrived, Alexander saw an opportunity and realized his own employees could manufacture them. The initial planes were designed by Dan Noonan, a man with limited aeronautical engineering experience. The planes, much like Frankenstein, were composed from parts that were hoarded from a variety of sources. Following a christening that saw Alexander's wife, Gertrude, damage the cheap aluminum nose with a bottle of champagne, it was ready for its maiden flight. The flight was a disaster. The big beast lumbered down the runway, circled in the air, and quickly returned to Earth, hissing steam from an overheating engine. Unbelievably, it was a 19-year-old self-taught aircraft engineer named Al Mooney who identified the problem. His new design, crafted at his own kitchen table, resulted in a successful flight as the teenager's aircraft soared over Englewood. Soon after Alexander's signature plane, the Eagle Rock, debuted, the plane was a momentous success, and the planes took flight worldwide. Even the famed actor Will Rogers flew one to his speaking engagements. By September of 1927, fearing an annex by the city of Denver that would bring higher taxes, Alexander was planning to move the factory to Colorado Springs. In a cruel twist of fate, just before noon on April 20th, 1928, a malfunction sparked a metal fan and ignited a highly volatile liquid form of silver nitrate. An explosion rocked the factory as it was humming with activity, shooting flames 50 feet in all directions. 11 souls were lost that day in a factory the Denver Post described as a mass of tangled ruin. Shortly after the tragedy, the company hastily relocated to Colorado Springs in the dead of night. To the dismay of many, the Arapahoe County District Attorney precipitously dropped manslaughter charges against the Alexander brothers. Alexander Industries blossomed in Colorado Springs, though the Depression would devastate aircraft sales. The last Alexander plane was built in 1932, only 7 years after the first Eagle Rock lumbered skyward. It was an amazing and tragic chapter in the story of aviation history, and it all started right here in the city of Englewood, Colorado.